Grace and peace to you, God our Creator and our Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ.
Amen.
Amen. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've actually read all of the accounts now of the birth of Jesus. First, we hear of Matthew, who begins his gospel lesson with trying to describe and prove that Jesus is legitimate, showing this long legacy of who he belongs to. And then we hear of the story of Joseph and the dream. And then last night we heard of how Mary was chosen to be this magnificent example of faith. And angels out of the sky said, "Oh, by the way, shepherds, there's this baby born in Bethlehem. You may want to go check it out." And then today we have the Gospel of John. And now most of you would probably say, wait, this isn't a nativity story, but on the contrary, it is. Why don't you look at it with me? So in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. That was when what has come into being. In him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. So back in Isaiah, our wonderful book of Isaiah, the people of God were walking in the land of deep darkness. And lo and behold, here, this Jesus in a manger comes. Now when we look at it, we don't say, hey, where are the shepherds? Where's Mary? Where is Joseph? Where is the stable? Well, we don't see it at all. Instead, what we have here is this cosmic God who says that here this Jesus is going to come and be the light. And now most of us, we get kind of confused and say, wait a minute, this is not about a cosmic God, and you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because for most of us, when we think of Christmas, we think of the pretty lights on the tree. We think of all the spectacularness of Christmas. But let me hear me clearly. Christmas, yes, had this amazing beginning. It's not supposed to be a flash in the pan. It's not supposed to be, ooh, look at all the pretty things that are out there. This was supposed to be a triumphant beginning of so much more to come. So much more to come. Look at the gospel again. And this is probably the biggest thing here. Verse 14. And the Word became flesh and lived among us. And we've seen his glory. The glory is the God's only Son, full of grace and truth. What does that mean? When it comes to our words, do we really mean to use them? For example, how many times have we said these words? If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Have we said those words? And how often do we actually fulfill those words that we say of anything goes? Most of the time, it's not very much. I'm reminded of Eliza Doolittle from My Fair Lady. Words, words, words. We're so sick of words. There's words all day through, first from him, now from you. So here in our wonderful Bible, everything prior to Jesus were just words. Here we had the prophets speaking of this Jesus to come. Yes, we had all of these amazing words that were written down. But now with this Jesus in a manger, God put flesh to words. Where no longer were they just meaningless things to say. God said, I am now going to back up those words that I have been proclaiming to you for the last, thousands upon thousands of years with my Son. And with this Son, Jesus the Christ, coming here, he will understand you. He will know you. To the point of, yes, living, but also then dying, but then conquering our sin and death, and coming back to life and saying, I did all of this for one purpose and one purpose alone, and that is to love you deeply, to love you intimately. So going back to our gospel for today, yes, it is a magnificent beginning. But the story continues. It's not about one day. It's not even about an hour. Because that's what we make Christmas to be so often, is about an hour or so. Yes, we gather with friends. We open presents. Yes, we gather with family and have a wonderful dinner. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. But that's just one day. The days to follow where this Jesus grows into this magnificent man who has come to save us from sin, to save us from death, and bring us to life. That's the Christmas story. That is why we celebrate today. That is why every Sunday is a celebration for what he has done for us. Where the Word became flesh and lived among us. And we have seen his glory. The glory as a Father's only Son, full of grace and full of truth. May God's blessings be with you and your family this Christmas. May you be filled with the joys of this day. Amen.
Amen.